Athletes after injury. Now, what used to be very popular for after an injury, or what you call acute phase of pain, was the RICE method, R-I-C-E. Now that stood for rest, ice, compress, and elevate. Now, it was very popular for a long period of time, created back in 1978, insert man above. But we actually started going back on this. Using the RICE method, it's now believed that it might actually delay or is not the most effective in increasing the speed and effectiveness of healing. So what we've been moving towards is we don't rest. We actually start moving as fast as possible. Now that might be weighted or non-weighted. Let's just say you had an ankle injury. Maybe you can't stand up and run yet, but you can definitely lean back in a chair and keep that ankle moving. You can put some weight, you can put some resistance to it, but it's not rest. To go sit on the couch is not a good idea. And ice. Inflammation is our healing mechanism. Using ice actually slows down how much fluid gets to that area. Now it is good for pain, but that's just covering it up. Pain is a signal caller. Pain is telling the body it needs to be doing more to get our natural process of healing back to that area. So to cover it up is just like putting a sticker over the fire alarm. Not really the best way to go.